Ethan Cross had been many things in his life: a wandering geologist, a divorced father trying to escape his mistakes, a man who chased dreams the world laughed at, but he had never expected that one dusty afternoon in the scorching Arizona desert would change everything. He believed about loyalty, destiny, and honor. He had come there alone, driving an old truck with a cracked windshield, carrying nothing but rock samples, a metal lunchbox, and the stubborn belief that the earth still whispered secrets to those who listened. The land he walked on belonged to the Apache Nation, sacred, protected, untouched, and Ethan respected that more than most outsiders ever did. Take nothing from the earth if your heart is not clean, an old Apache elder had once told him at a community gathering he had attended years before. Ethan remembered those words as he knelt on a ridge, brushed away the red dust, and saw the impossible shimmer rising up from the soil. Oil, not just oil, a massive, world-shaking underground sea of it, enough to make corporations drool, enough to buy cities, enough to turn anyone into a legend or a villain, depending on which side of history they stood. Ethan felt his heartbeat tremble inside his chest. The tests were undeniable. Every reading told him the same story. This was the largest discovery he had ever seen. But the land was Apache land. Their burial grounds were near. Their stories lived here. Their ancestors walked in the wind that touched the rocks. Ethan knew the world wouldn't care about any of that. The moment the wrong people learned what lay beneath this sacred soil, the tribe would be pushed, pressured, manipulated, or worse, erased. For the first time in his ambitious life, Ethan Cross faced a choice no man could take lightly. He drove for hours, arguing with himself, imagining the faces of Apache elders who had once welcomed him to their ceremonies when he was nothing but a wandering stranger, searching for meaning. He remembered how they shared food with him, how children played around his equipment, how the tribe treated him not like an intruder but like a traveler who deserved kindness. Could he betray that? Could he take something so massive, knowing it would destroy the quiet beauty of the desert, the songs of the night winds, the dignity of the people who still protected the earth, when most of the world had forgotten how? The answer came not from greed, but from a deep ache inside his chest. He would walk away. No reports, no maps, no announcements. He buried the data, deleted every reading, burned the test results, and swore to himself that no one would ever know what he discovered. The Apache tribe never learned what he had protected them from. Ethan left the desert with empty pockets, but a strangely full heart. Days turned into years. His life slowly collapsed around him. Jobs lost, bills unpaid, dreams shattered. People said he wasted his talent. They said he was a fool. They said he would die poor. Maybe they were right, but Ethan slept knowing he had done the right thing. And sometimes that was all a man had. But the world is not finished with a man who walks away from greatness. And 7 years later, just when Ethan was at his lowest, living in a tiny, leaking apartment above a mechanic shop, the Apache tribe returned into his life in a way he could never have imagined. Something had happened. Something that would pull Ethan back to the desert he once protected. And this time, the earth's secrets would no longer stay buried. 7 long years had carved deep lines into Ethan Cross's face, and the man who once walked with confidence across deserts now moved like a shadow of himself, worn down by poverty, isolation, and the constant reminder that his career had collapsed the moment he chose honor over wealth. He worked odd shifts at a quarry, slept little, and lived off canned soup and debts he couldn't pay. Yet every night, before closing his tired eyes, he whispered to the darkness, "At least I didn't betray them." So when a knock came on his flimsy apartment door one evening, firm, deliberate, echoing with purpose, Ethan opened it expecting a landlord or a bill collector. Instead, standing in the dim hallway were 4 Apache men wearing traditional beadwork and modern jackets, their faces carrying the calm intensity of people who came with a message older than time. Their leader, a tall elder with gray braids and eyes like burning coals, stepped forward and said, "Ethan Cross, we have been searching for you." Ethan's breath froze. The tribe rarely left their land for matters concerning outsiders, and certainly not for someone like him. "Why? What happened?" he asked. But instead of answering, they said only, "You must come with us today." The journey back to Apache land felt surreal. Ethan's memories flashed with every mile, the ridge where he found the oil, the sky that once felt like a living spirit, the silence that had comforted him through his loneliest years. When they arrived at the tribal grounds, people gathered, whispering, watching him with expressions he couldn't decipher. Was it anger? Respect? Something else? Then the elder finally spoke. 7 years ago, he began, the earth trembled beneath our feet. Our ancestors warned us in our dreams that a great darkness beneath our land sought to awaken, but the darkness never came. Someone protected us. Someone hid a danger that would have destroyed our home. Ethan felt a chill crawl across his skin. He tried to speak, but the elder raised his hand gently. "We know it was you," the elder said. "We found what you buried, the burnt remains of test samples, the erased files, the untouched soil. And it led us to only one conclusion. You chose our people over riches." Ethan bowed his head, ashamed and overwhelmed. "I didn't want to be thanked," he whispered. "I just wanted your land to stay yours." The elder stepped closer, his voice carrying the weight of generations. "You have lived poor because you chose honor. But our people do not let such a man suffer." Then something happened that Ethan would remember for the rest of his life. The tribe led him to a ceremonial fire where dozens gathered. The elder placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder and said, "Our land gave you a gift once. You refused it for our sake. Now we choose to give you one in return." They presented him with land, Apache-owned land, granted legally through tribal council approval, where he was allowed to work, drill, research, or build anything he wished. But it wasn't the oil land. No, it was something far more shocking. The elder explained that the oil field Ethan once discovered was dying underground, losing pressure, collapsing slowly, a natural phenomenon the tribe had known of from ancestral teachings. Extracting it would have caused a catastrophic sink and destroyed sacred canyons. Ethan's decision had prevented an ecological disaster that would have harmed the land for generations. "You saved us from destruction," the elder said. "You saved our ancestors' resting place, and then something Ethan could never have predicted. The tribe revealed that they had discovered a new resource, not oil but rare minerals, essential for green energy, worth millions, and they wanted Ethan to lead the project, not as a contractor but as a partner, an adopted member of the community. For the first time in years, Ethan felt his knees weaken, not from exhaustion, but from overwhelming gratitude. The poverty, the struggle, the loneliness, none of it had been meaningless. His sacrifice had returned to him in a way he never imagined, through people who valued honor more than profit. He looked at the tribe around him, at the firelight dancing in their eyes, and tears finally escaped him. "I don't deserve this," he whispered. "But you do," the elder replied. "The earth remembers those who protect her." And so, Ethan Cross, the man who once walked away from unimaginable new wealth, returned to the land he loved, not as a thief or intruder, but as family. The desert wind greeted him like an old friend, and Ethan knew that sometimes the greatest treasures are not found beneath the ground, but in the hearts of those who still believe in doing the right thing.